Shane Crawford will be played by some other idiot. Yes, it's the Footy Show. Please welcome Gary Lyon and James Brayshaw.
Footy Show. Got a massive show lined up. Lots of footy news kicking around. We've got the best in the business. He's over everything. The Nathan Lovett Murray drugs case. There's been some developments in that. Hutchie's all over it. We'll give you the latest news there. The AFL have launched an investigation into gambling. Some irregularities that have taken place on the weekend, so they're going to sort those out. And the Richmond coaching job. We can tell you who's made it through to the second round, and apparently there's a clear-cut favourite that has emerged. We'll let you know who that is as well.
Yeah, I tell you what, Craig Hutchison's ready to go. Speaking of the Richmond Footy Club, Gary, their favourite son, Matthew Richardson, was going to be on the panel here tonight, but he went into hospital today to be operated on. We caught up... Don't worry, we've got a bloody good replacement. But we caught up with Richo today to talk about the surgery and how that was going to go, but also, Gary, whether he's going to play next year. Yep. Speaking of Richmond, Graham Polak, you may remember, a very talented young man got hit by a tram. We all thought maybe that was the end of Graham Polak. He's about to restart his career, and exclusive to the Footy Show, we speak to him as well.
It is a great story. Yep. That's a great news footy story, that one. Now, the cricket as well, the Ashes, the Aussies fighting for their life over there in England at the moment. Who else would we go to get the absolute lowdown than Shane Warne, live on the Footy Show tonight. Yep. Big Warnie, needed a cricket expert to speak to, Jim, and we went to Warnie.
Well, I was happy to step in, but I'm the number one man's over there. Now, David Copperfield is in town. Well, not actually in Melbourne yet. But shortly he's up in Queensland, so we send our number one man, Big William Brownless, up to catch up with David Copperfield. It is unbelievable. Must-watch television, Gary.
Yep. It's a great rapport between he and David Copperfield too. Very much looking forward to that. And Samuel's been out to St Albans for a little bit of street talk, so plenty to get into. Let's jump into it right now. Big round of football too kicks off on Friday night. The Geelong Cats, have they got a big weekend? Yes, massive weekend for them, and the number one cat of all joins us as always, the 300-game superstar. Yes. Please welcome him, John Sammy Newman.
Now, Gary, it will be a big Saturday night, but nothing could be bigger than this time last Thursday, Gary, when you almost broke the world record for hopping. And, Gary, have we had some mail and just some requests? The stretcher might be just starting to be put aside now. We've got a whole new panorama in front of us.
That was a painful night. I had a lot of people ring me. Stephen Silvani rang me. He did his hamstring, ripped it off the bone as well.
Yeah.
And soldiered on. So,
well, for those who may have missed it last week, we've never had anything on this show, Samuel, requested more than this vision to be replayed. So we're going to replay it.
Only just once or twice.
Just once or twice. And then
maybe 2 or 3 times, Gary.
Then we're going to launch a new initiative, Gary, but just stand by while we replay what happened last week.
This will be really humorous, Gary.
Here he goes. He was going okay, the big bustler, and then...
seen anyone hop 7 times on their left foot,
That would
Gary,
be enough of
in
that.
succession.
Gary, what we've done this time, because we blew a lot of stretch of vision without getting anything back out of it. So with this one, because we get the feeling we're going to play it more than once, we've decided to sponsor. We've decided, Gary, to sponsor the vision.
Yeah.
Companies have requested that they can have a piece of the hopping hamstring vision. They have.
Oh, of course they have.
And the company that...
Oh, then he rang up and said, we want to sponsor the...
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did. It's exactly what happened.
Don't look like that, you stupid man. We've had people want to sponsor it. They want to be associated with it, Gary.
And it started very close to home,
You
Gary.
great quince.
In fact, it was the Bendigo Street Milk Bar, which is just over the road, who offered us $500 if they could sponsor the hamstring vision. We're going to cross over there right now. I think Tom's on the line from over there. Tom.
G'day, guys. Gary.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy.
It's good, isn't it?
Oh, it's great.
Tommy, you saw the clip last week, mate, and you contacted us. You wanted in.
Yeah, it was a pisser.
He's sharp, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what, we're
What
going
are you
to...
doing?
Shut up, Gary.
Not just a delicatessen owner, a sharp man, Gary.
Foss, we know for a fact that he's actually had a scan this week himself over here, and the hamstring is torn off the bone. Tom, did you realise...
And that's why we've got our ham off the bone special running all week.
Tommy!
All week, Tim.
Just doing it. Shut up, Gary.
all
This is
week you thought
Tom
this
from the
out.
Bendigo Street Milk Bar.
Shut up.
Yeah. Tommy, we appreciate it, mate. Very crisp from you.
Thanks, guys. And we've also got an all-you-can-eat breakfast, which, like Gary, you won't even get close to finishing.
That's
That's sharp stuff.
For an ordinary man in the street, that is as good a stuff as we've heard,
Paid,
Gary.
paid $500 for that.
he did, and that's probably enough from Tom. But what we can tell you is, if you want to be a part of it, the address is here. The Footy Show. There we go. Harry's hamstring footy. Gary's hamstring footy. The Footy Show at 9.com.au. It costs you $500, and you could next week have your name underneath the vision, like the Bendigo Street Milk Bar, as we roll it again, Gary. And Gary, we want companies emailing us. They can give us a slogan. We'll cross out to them the same way we did with Tom.
Gaz,
Yes,
that's
Tim.
about as mirthful as it gets.
No.
That is very, very humorous.
All week we've thought of that, have we? I
Well,
reckon
not
we-
all week,
Let's
Gary.
get a panel out. I
Well,
reckon.
what have you thought of this week?
No, I'm just here. I'm
That's
happy to
right,
be
you're just here.
Pushing through.
Whinging.
Oh, come on.
Gary,
Yes.
that's very humorous, and there'll be a lot more where that came from. But time now, ladies and gentlemen, because I mentioned Richo was going to be on the panel. He can't be because he's in hospital, but we've got two very, very fine men. And I start with a premiership player, a 4-time All-Australian, best and fairest winner from the West Coast Eagles, Dean Cox. And the man of our town from the Essendon Footy Club, Andrew Welch, is here. And fresh back from the Sunshine State, the Mayor of Geelong, Billy Burnless.
Welcome, boys. Billy, get you shortly. Fresh off the plane from Queensland, having visited David Copperfield. But, Coxie, good to see you for the first time, mate. Unfortunately, not playing over there. The Eagles battling along a bit. We're not going to go on about this all night, but the tanking situation here in Melbourne has been running out of control. You guys got caught up with it the week before last when you went down to the Dockers, but you put it to rest a bit with a win on the weekend.
Yeah, I suppose from a player's perspective, it's absolutely ridiculous to think that players are going to go out and not try and win a game of football, play for one another, and especially at our side with the situation we've been in 2008 to win 4 games. And we want to build a winning culture around this football club again like we had in 05 and 06, and the only way you can do that is to win games of footy, and we did last week.
What about the feeling from the fans? Because they're the ones that get caught up in all this sort of stuff. They can see what they can and can't get, but, I mean, what are you about the West Coast fans?
Oh, yeah, they've been obviously very loyal and fantastic supporters, but when you're only winning 4 games or, you haven't won a lot to a year so far, then obviously they're going to start to think those things. And we've got so many young, great kids that are coming through the ranks and starting to play some fantastic footy. So the rebuilding stage has got to happen at some stage, and unfortunately we're going through that now.
Dean, you know very well no one has ever suggested that the players tank. It's done in the top office or in the coach's box. No one's ever suggested the players, but would it be a coincidence that Melbourne happened to lose just before you took the field and it didn't matter if you won or lost in that case?
No, we had no idea Melbourne lost before we went. So.
Oh, didn't you? What you don't? No one tunes
when
in?
you actually rock into a game, you
no,
actually
but the
prepare
people
for
up in the box might.
Yeah, well, they're probably worrying about what moves they're going to do against Essendon.
Just see if they can just sneak a loss.
Yeah. Well, I know what he's worried about.
You said that they definitely are trying to lose.
I did say that.
Well, not.
But Big Coxie's here, and I'll change my mind, won't I, Sam? You told me that because you went over and watched the game, and you said that they didn't have a go.
No, I didn't say they didn't have a go. I said they actually played football that was so illogical that you couldn't hope to win a game the way they played against the Dockers. I saw that game there myself.
Didn't have a go. E.G. Now, this is... Now, I know why you don't want to play this week against the Western Bulldogs, Coxie. Have a look at this. Adam Cooney here in the ruck against Big Coxie. Here we go. Cooney's a midget and wins the tap. Look at this. He is an absolute midget. What happened there?
I didn't get any credit for that because I probably won him the Brownlow for doing that.
That is terrible.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times and unfortunately don't want to see it again.
Mate, 19 in a row you've lost on the road as a club, which is obviously not great, but I understand the travel arrangements have been changed for the first time in a long while for the West Coast coming to Melbourne this week.
Yeah, I suppose we're trying something new. Obviously our record's terrible to date, but since probably 04 we've always travelled 2 days before the game, and this time we're flying out one day and land tomorrow afternoon before the Saturday afternoon game. And I think that's purely because we're training, having our main session on Thursday morning, and instead of jumping straight on the flight, the boys get the full day to recover, followed by a weight session, and then can travel first thing Friday morning fresh.
Not financial, is it? Feeling the pinch over there?
Yeah.
No,
very tough too when you're in a situation our club is at the minute.
It's good to have you here anyway, mate. We
Very
appreciate
good
it.
to have
Let's go on to you, Welshie. Now, we thought you were going to be playing, but sadly out with an injury, and the Bombers have hit a bit of a hurdle. 6 of the last 9 they've dropped, and they look to be pretty firmly ensconced in the 8. Now you've got your work ahead of you.
Yeah, it's been disappointing the last couple of weeks, and if the West Coast were tanking last week and we lost to a team that was tanking, we're not going too well. So it was quite disappointing, our effort over in Perth, and the boys will be out to rectify that on Saturday night against Brisbane.
And news this week, Nathan Lovett-Murray just caught up in a police drugs case. Hutchie will be out later with some news on that, but how's he holding up at the moment?
Yeah, look, he's going great, and obviously got to be careful what we say because it's all going through the courts, and he's going to testify to prove his innocence through the court. And I wouldn't know a player out there in the AFL that does more work in the community than Nathan does. In particular, I suppose the Indigenous community. He set up a record label, Payback Records, recently, which gives Indigenous musicians the chance to chase their dreams, and he's got the full support of the club and the playing group.
Kyle Reimers, we all love his work. Apparently, Frothies McVeigh rang me during the week and said that he might have a new tattoo. Is this true?
He has actually got a new tattoo. Yeah. What did he say it was of?
Batman.
A bat. Yeah. It's similar to a Batman tattoo on the arm.
What's he got that for? Why would you have a Batman tattoo?
If you know Kyle Reimers, you wouldn't be surprised with what he rocks up on his body.
The tattoo, Sam. You hate tattoos, don't you?
Well, I can't see what the point of actually decorating your body with inane pictures and images of people all over you. I can't understand that. But Bill, I'm just a generation away from being with it.
You are.
Well, God,
some people get addicted to them, Billy, and you it would seem, have become addicted to Lycra.
Yes, Gary. Well, have you ever worn it yourself? You should have worn it the other night. Maybe you wouldn't have done a hamstring.
No. It's a very, very good point. But tell us, what was going on here? This was down at Skilled Stadium.
TAC.
What were you doing?
I was doing it with the TAC, with the sponsors of the day for the Footy Club.
Got a little camel going on there.
Come on, Bill.
I was as thirsty as a camel, fair dinkum, mate. I've been working all day.
Bill.
And, yeah. Yeah, well, that happens. Have you ever worn one of those suits, Welshie? Like,
No, I can't say I get around those
All
too
right.
often. If I look like that, I don't think I'd be wearing one either. Camel toe's no good.
What have you got?
What is that?
What is that?
Trying to get a bit of perspective. It's not actually.
Get it out of your jacket. You can't see it.
yeah.
Put on a light background.
Oh,
Oh, you got the whole camel.
That is a camel toe there. No.
it's hard to get.
Look, there it is there. Can you see?
Fair right
Hang
here.
on a
isn't it?
minute, just a minute.
We understand.
Oh, hello, here we go.
Good work. There's a new scud misser.
Oh, no.
Just the one hump, Gary.
Well, Bill,
Yes.
interesting to note that we only had that bit of vision on a couple of moments ago, and the lookalikes have already piled in.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, they have. Here we go. There's one that's been sent in almost immediately.
Brian Taylor.
There we go. And then.
But you did start all this, Gazza. If we go back and have a little look at a photo of you when you're a little boy, have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Little Gazza there. On the left, Gazza is there. Look at him. With Snozzer. Snooksy.
Yeah, I love you in a lycra suit, William. Very, very funny stuff. Now, we're going to push on because I've plenty to get through. As I said, Hutchie got so much news. Shane Warne's going to join us and David Copperfield as well. But we're going to now look at the first game. It's on Friday night, Carlton taking on Geelong. MC Blues, 7th on the ladder. 10 wins and 8 losses. They beat North Melbourne eventually last week by 10 points at Etihad Stadium. Nick Stevens back on the side, 25 touches. They've won 4 of their last 5, the Blues. No change just at the moment. They take on the Geelong Footy Club, William. Second on the ladder, 16 wins, 2 losses. Just got over the line against Adelaide last week by 2 points. They were outscored 7 goals, 2 to 9-6 in the second half. Paul Chapman was a standout, 24 touches, 6 goals. He is out, sadly, with a hamstring injury. Tommy Lonergan comes into the side and gets a chance to cement a spot as we head into the finals. This will be a big game, Will. The Cats not going all that well. They keep winning.
On 3 cylinders, Gaz,
Yep.
I reckon. They're just trying to get their team back. And then Chapman actually heard it during the game in the first quarter and went on, kicked 6 goals. So really good effort. The big one is there, Welshie, you can tell me this. Who's going to play on Fev? No Scarlett, no Harry Taylor. I know they've named Tom Harley there, but that is an interesting matchup. And well done to Andrew Mackie, 100 very, very good games.
Yeah, so that's going to be... That's going to be one of the key matchups. Who gets Favola, and usually you'd say a player who's kicked 6 goals, that you're going to miss them from your team if they're not playing the week after. But Geelong's got so many stars that can step up and fill the void, and I think they'll be too strong.
Who gets him?
Favola.
Bomber threw up Joel Corey through the week.
Thanks, Welshie.
What about the Tomahawk?
The Tomahawk, no.
We'll throw that out there.
Joel
He
Corey.
kicked 15 if he played Tomahawk plays on. He's looking forward to it. We saw Fev this morning, actually, the Triple M function. Very much looking forward to playing against the Cats tomorrow night, Will. He is the great danger. Anyone see them causing an upset?
No, I certainly can't. The midfield battle's fantastic to see. Judd, Murphy and Gibbs versus, obviously, Ablett, Corey, Bartell and Selwood. Some unbelievable players roaming through there. I think Andrew Mackie might have a crack at him at some stage. But Geelong too strong for me.
Sam,
Yes, I think so. I think Geelong, Gary.
in preparation for the big night, the 150th.
Are you talking?
1,500 people in the
talking
marquee.
at
No, I'm not talking. No, Bill's hosting it all.
You hosting?
Yeah.
Craig Willis, they've gone for a professional host, and but I'll be helping out. 1,500 people down there at the waterfront at Geelong, the biggest marquee you've ever seen.
That'd be fantastic. Be a great night and see the old Foss
Biggest
down
marquee
there.
Geelong has ever seen.
Well, I think they'll be celebrating a victory as well. I think it'll be a hard-fought one, but they'll get there in the end. As I said, we've got a massive show, plenty more still to come on the Footy Show.
Hey, I'm David Copperfield, and tonight I'm going to make this man disappear. Or maybe not.
Welcome back, thanks to Natural Blonde and Crazy John's massive show. Lots of footy news still ahead with Craig Hutchison and also Shane Warne and David Copperfield. But time now, hold off, time now for Sam's mailbag.
Come on, Fox.
I was over in Perth last...
I heard that.
Did you? Yeah.
Did you read the article?
See what that... now, this is from Vicky of Perth. Dear Sam, it was lovely to meet you at the Perth Football Club the other day. I love your bad boy image. It is way sexy to me. And then she's gone, This is Vicky and me.
Vicky and I.
Well, I think it's Vicky and me, Bill, to be honest. I think you can say Vicky and me. I'm not sure. Vicky and I. I would stand...
Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, Gary. I love to hear... This is Vicky said this. I love to hear you swear, Sam. And say the F word. And I say it a couple of times in my delivery sometimes, Gary. I love a man that swears and says the F word, particularly in the bedroom. And then she's got, again. I also think that Kevin Sheedy is a sexy man. Well, Jesus, you've lost me now. No, Kevin is a very sexy man. I have loads of money too, trust me, but I still keep my feet on the ground. Gee, she doesn't put them around the back of the neck. I don't know if she's that flexible.
Yeah.
I'm a free spirit, cool, calm and collective. Oh, lastly, tell Gary Lyon that I don't like hearing him say, inverted commas, come on, hurry up, we've got the tennis after us, or hurry up, we've got to finish the show by 11 p.m. She doesn't like that, Gary. She says, I feel it dampens the mood and unsavourizes the moment. Silly Vicky's making up words. Unsavourizes the moment. Now, well, this is just a picture of Kevin because she likes Kevin. This is a picture of Kevin. There he is. Looks all right, doesn't he?
That's not Kev.
Well, how the hell would you know
I
this?
just don't...
Push on, Foss.
Gary, that's exactly what this broad says. She says it unsavourizes the moment. Be quiet. Here is Kevin again. Just show this Kevin. There he is. So there she is. No, Vicky, she's a fair piece, Vicky. A biggish woman, but... She was a biggish woman.
She was lovely.
What can I say that?
Is that relevant?
No. Hey?
Is it relevant?
She looked like a... What do you say? Well, I was just saying she wasn't thin and skimpy.
Right.
She was just a big...
Push on.
Be careful with this next one.
Look, triplets with one head.
Come on.
Now, this is something... Have a listen to this. This is sent in by Charles of Vermont. See if you can guess what this is an advertisement for, and this is true. This is true. I'll just find it. Here it is. This is true. The central channel of the support, 3 to 5 centimetres wide, prevents the anus...
Oh, no.
This is an advertisement, Jim. Just wait for it. Prevents the anus, the prostate, the pudenda veins and deep dorsal vein and artery of the penis, scrotum and testicles, and the labia majora and the minora and clitoris...
No.
And the clitoris, or is that clitoris?
Oh, no.
I've never been worked out how to say that.
Or found it.
Or even ever found it. And thank you, dude. And the clitoris not to be squashed at all. Now, that's an ad for a bike seat. What is a majora and a minora? Do you know what that is?
I don't think any of us know that, Foss.
Now, the way we're going, we'll never find it.
I like how you say all those rude words with a sing in your voice.
Well, that's all I can do these days is just say them, Jim. All I do is get enjoyment out of saying them. That's about... So we thought that maybe just that could have been completely abbreviated just to say... the bike seat is for crack, sack and back, in your dacks, on the track, and that's a fact. familiar with any of those words at all, Dave? No. None at all, mate? Now, this is Carla of Wyndham Vale, wherever that is. Sam, maybe you could ask Gary why. Now, this is relevant. This is a footy show, and we talk footy.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you could ask Gary what Dean Bailey was trying to prove on the weekend. Playing players out of position, not playing some at all. I couldn't make head and a tail of it. Could someone please explain? Well, it was chaos, Gary. Mm-hmm. It was chaos. It was. And what captures the moment of chaos is, and she was right, your players, the Melbourne players, had heads in them like mice, Gary. No one knew what was going on.
Running everywhere?
Running everywhere. So I had a bit of a brainwave, Gary. I had a bit of a brainwave. Yeah. I'll just put these on.
Oh, no.
It can be confusing when there's a lot of players.
Yes, and
it can be. Swapping positions and going from one end of the ground to the other.
So you're the great...
Set it up.
Yes. It's experimenting with your football.
After this, Bill, I'm going to give you a colonoscopy. just remove your strides, just in readiness. Now, Gary, you're going to try and explain this to me, and this will make sense to those folk out there who are with us. Just take that there. Now, just a minute. All right.
We don't know. Oh, no.
Jeez, shit, do they stink. Right, Gary. Now, look at that, they're copulating. Now, Gary.
That's a flood in the back line.
That might as well be. Now, just tell us, what was the first move? And this makes as much sense as what Dean Bailey and Melbourne were doing, Gary.
No, these were some of the moves that had people wondering. At one stage, Paul Johnson, who's a ruckman, and he's number 11.
Right, just a minute. There he is, there. Come here, you little bastard.
Jono. Pick him up.
Oh, come.
Pick him up. Come on, Sam.
Get a hold of number 11.
He got him.
This is the interchange bench, Gary.
No, he wasn't.
Sam, they're mice.
Now, listen.
I shouldn't have put it in there.
No.
Well, where do I put it?
He went to full back.
Oh, shit, sorry. Well, there you are. There's full back.
Now, don't throw them either. Righto. Okay.
So that's the interchange bench. Yeah, and then what?
And don't throw them because they're nice.
Don't throw them. I couldn't get hold of them.
Number 40.
You know what's happening after these,
Number 42 was Jake Spencer.
Righto, well, Jake...
He was a ruckman who went to full forward.
Just by the smell of him, Jake shit himself.
He might be under Aaron Davey there.
42.
42.
If you went to the game, this made as much sense as what... Where is he?
42. He'd be a big one.
He'd be a big one.
He'd be a big mouse. An inexperienced big one.
Where is he?
Oh, he's not there.
He's there somewhere, Jake.
Get the cheese.
All right, we'll pick him up.
All right, we'll go on to the next move. If you can't find him... No, they're not...
Or don't flick him. You know what's going to happen when they finish here?
They're not being hurt, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they're not. They love this. They're trained mice.
He's in here. He's in the interchange.
He's in the interchange, is he?
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Right, I'll go to this one. Number 34. Can you see him?
I found number 34 here.
He's next to Liam Jarrett.
Thank you, Jim.
Liam Jarrett.
That's...
I will pick him up. He's just here.
Number 34.
You come and pick him up.
Sam.
Right.
Yeah,
I got him.
No, that's not. That's Aaron Davey.
That's 34. What are you saying?
Oh, it is.
34.
Where did he go? That's right.
Where did he go?
He went to the interchange with number 43.
Right, I get the...
Number 42.
He's done poo on me.
Where have you gone?
There's 43 in the corner.
43. What's that? 43.
There he is in the corner there.
He's dead.
No, he's not. Right.
Yep. See, go in here.
Yeah, and James McDonald and Matthew Whelan came on.
Okay.
23 and 45.
45.
Yeah.
23.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now, you get the general gist of it. Don't you? This is about as much sense as it made. These little babies here. Don't it? That's silly, isn't it? What?
No, don't. Careful of him. Careful.
Gary's very concerned about the mice.
Don't hurt them.
He doesn't like them at all, Gary.
Do you know what's happening after? You know, they get fed to pythons.
No, they don't.
They do.
Not these ones, no.
Well, which one?
Go and show Gary one up close there.
Look, Gary, here.
I've seen them.
Look at him.
I've seen them.
That's there. There's Aaron Day. No, it's not.
No, that's
Dean Cox.
That's Kyle Cheney.
Anyhow,
Matthew Whelan.
Beautiful little animals.
that made as much sense, Gary, as what happened.
What was the point of that?
Well, the point is that they had heads in them like mice coming on and off the interchange bench, and how you can concoct losing a game, I don't know what the point of that was.
Oh, good one, Jim. What? Tough man?
I'm just putting it back in. Tough man as he's walking off. Gary, pick it up.
No.
Just pick the mouse up, Gary.
I got the gloves.
Put the mouse and put him back in there,
Put
Gary.
him in there, Foss.
All right, if you want to contribute to Sam's mailbag, it's a fairly simple process. PO Box 800 Richmond, Victoria 3121 or sams.mailbag@9.com.au.
Jim, want to stress that no mouse...
Be a magician.
No mouse has been... No mouse has been hurt in the filming of that skit at all. We stress that.
Well, we got these from Dick Smith. These are just electrical mice.
That's a Melbourne team of mice that Sam got out of his kitchen. He's got 15 other sides of mice running around his house that he's going to bring next week.
Young Andy. Karis sent that particular gag over, did he? Did she?
We would have thought after Chicky the Llama that we might have put a line through animals, Gary.
Well, now, look, Gary, that was to show how nonsensical this game is towards the end of the year when you're last...
Experimenting.
Well, I know. We were experimenting here, Gary.
That's right.
While you sort the mice out, we're going to have a look at the next game, which involves the Western Bulldogs and the West Coast Eagles. Etihad Stadium on Saturday. Third on the ladder, the Dogs. Big game, this one. They go on to meet Brisbane, Geelong and Collingwood in their last 3 weeks of the season, the Doggies, so this is a big game. They've made no changes, understandably, to the side that beat Freo by 31 points last week. The West Coast Eagles, 26-point winners last week at home to the Bombers. As I said, they've lost their last 19 matches in a row interstate. They're closing in on the Swans record of 21 losses in a row on the road back in the early 90s. Callan Ward, we should congratulate as the round 18 NAB rising star. Now, Coxie, what can you do to turn this losing streak on the road around, beside getting here a day later?
Yeah, it's obviously a massive challenge. Bulldogs have been in fantastic form. We knocked them off early in the year over in Perth, and I think with so many of the younger players we've got going, you need players like Josh Kennedy, Andrew Embley, Darren Glass obviously leading from the front, but Mark Lacra's had a fantastic year to be able to do what he's done in a side that's won 5 games, to kick 46 goals. He has to be. In my personal... I'm not just being biased, but to kick 46... You don't agree?
No, but you're not being biased.
46 goals. 46 goals.
I agree with that.
46 goals, playing probably a lone role up forward. So those two, Josh Kennedy and Mark Lacroix, just work so well in tandem to block for one another. And sorry, Sam, is this interrupting something?
What about Daniel Kerr?
No, mate, there's a bit of flooding going on. They've packed the back line here.
I think you call it a play.
They've got the zone
Zone
defence going here.
Daniel Kerr, out for the year on the long-term injury list.
Yeah, I suppose Curry hasn't... all the programs and the procedures been put in front of him. He's still pulled up a little bit sore after last week when we ramped him right up. So Kerry goes on a long-term injury list, which might give a rookie an opportunity. He's been in. Obviously, they won't be just given a game, but if they're warrant selection from playing fantastic in the waffle level, then they'll get that opportunity. But at the moment,
what's he doing?
Oh, he's just walking
Is that
laps.
enough, you two, at the game?
He's almost catching, I reckon, with those. He's got about 4 chins now. So.
Got a few chins there.
Who's winning?
Where's Matty Bate?
Now,
Who's winning? No, he's not.
in case you've tuned in,
Get Matty Bate out, Sam.
this is zone defence and this is communal rooting up here.
Welshie, who's winning?
Yeah, I think the Bulldogs will be too strong.
Right, Bill.
Acco has kicked 32 goals, the most of all the Bulldogs. Well done.
Right, Foss.
Will I throw one over there?
No.
No, I reckon who's playing?
West Coast and Western
Western
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs.
Turn it up, Dean. No, I know you're going to try your hardest, but you've given it away, you blokes over
I'm
there.
going for the Western Bulldogs as well.
Yeah,
I think they're going to win pretty well.
What?
Now, are you finished with these mice?
Yeah, they get fed to a python. These is python food.
No, they don't.
They're beautiful mice.
Little
They'll go
kiddies
back
out there watching.
Who's handling them?
They'll go back to the mouse shop.
Mouth shut.
This looks like the mouse from Perth.
Stewie, come over here and take these mice so that otherwise we'll get nothing done on the show until we get rid of that box.
Well, hello.
He's Stewie. He's a
Stewie,
mouse
pick
handler.
up the mice and
Well done,
get
Steve.
rid of them.
They're going
Where
to
is
python.
dogs
They're
when you
python
need
food, aren't they?
No, back to the mouse shop.
Back to the mouse shop. Well done. Now, Fossil.
Yes.
Gary and I received a letter. I know we've just done mailbag, but we received a letter from a gentleman by the name of Carl of Lakes Entrance, who wrote the following. Dear Jim and Gary, I was watching some old footage from Wide World of Sport on YouTube the other day, and I stumbled across this vision of Sam Newman judging goal of the day back in 1985, Bill.
Oh, jeez.
I found it especially interesting as Sam often has a go at people like Tim Lane and Bruce McAvaney
Yes, he
on
does.
your show
He does.
for taking the game of football so seriously.
Yes, he does.
Delicious.
I think he describes them on the footy show as earnest.
He does.
I hope you enjoy it as much as we did, and please tell Bill the word frothy has an R in it. All right, thank you, Carl. Here is the vision that you sent in.
I agree with you, Kevin. Strange enough, Silvio Fascini. A very nice check-side goal there. Lethal Lee Matthews. He displayed all the skills of clear thinking and coolness in that attempt to kick the goal, and of course was successful.
Silvio Fascini.
Well, this I think he showed all the clear thinking.
And you know, this was
Very
Channel
nice
7. That's
check-side
when I was
goal.
on Channel 7, which I was on for 7 years. And they, I mean, if you smirked there, you were actually banned.
Lethal
You
Lee
were
Matthews.
sent to Coventry if you...
How'd you like that, Bill?
Oh,
one
very good,
sticker.
clear thinking and very cliched. Sam, loosen up a bit, you old fossil. Let's have a look at the next game. North Melbourne take on Melbourne Sunday, 1:10 at Etihad Stadium. The North Melbourne side have only had 4 wins. They should have won last week, Jim. They kicked
Should have.
9 straight behinds in that last quarter. Should have won for Simo. They made a couple of changes. In comes lower. Daniel Harris in and under to replace Simo, maybe.
Yep.
Adams, Aaron Edwards and Garlett. And out goes Lee Harding and Adam Simpson. He's been a bloody star, Adam Simpson. Well done to him. The Melbourne Football Club, they've only had 3 wins. They lost, actually won the game when the siren went last week, but were beaten after the siren, of course. Last week's was the Demons' 4th loss by 18 points or less this season. And have they made some changes, Gazza? Maloney back, Sylvia, Morton, Tommy McNamara and Rowan Bale, 2 new boys. Good luck to those if they get their game. And Simon Buckley, out goes Grimes, Willen and Bennell. Interesting game, this one. I think
what,
the
North
clear
Melbourne and
thinking
Melbourne?
North Melbourne. I'm being you, idiot. Very serious and got to get it right. I think North Melbourne will win this one, Jim. I think you'll beat Gazza this week. Welshie?
Yeah, the Kangas, they should have won last week's game kicking, as Bill said, 9 straight behinds in the last quarter to lose to Carlton by only 10 points. So they'll be too strong for the Demons this week.
You got 3 minutes, Dean. Go.
Liam Anthony obviously had a fantastic debut year, played the 6 games, averaging 25 touches a game, but North Melbourne too strong, Sam.
Now, this is a sort of a paid political thing, we've got to say. We were called into Q's headquarters. That's not James Bond Q's, that's Qantas's Q's, because they've just now, we've got to make this is an official thing. We were called in, Ken and Margaret, into Qantas. Did we go in to have lunch there? Yes. They had a couple of leftover dinners from a business flight. Had the silver foil across them, and we sat down because things are tight at Qantas.
Yes.
And we had a confit of bean curd. Drizzled in balsamic lizard shit, and accompanied by a very nice savage nun, a cabinet savage nun. And Margaret and I've never seen Margaret in the flesh. Mind you, I've never seen her in the flesh. I didn't see her in the flesh yesterday. Fair piece, Margaret.
Lovely.
And we have to hit this on the head once and for all. Margaret and Ken are not an item.
No, we know
They've not even fraternised. They've not even got near one another. Ken is married to a wonderful woman called Christina.
And Margaret's married as well.
To Tony.
Tony, who's a lawyer, so sort that out.
That's why we're doing this, Gary. And what wonderful people. They're playing at Ken and Margaret and Tony and Christina's stadium. Otherwise
Who are
known
you tipping?
I'm tipping that they'll probably get the shits. Well, after that mice display, I mean, fair dinkum. North Melbourne. I don't know if you're trying to tank, Jim, but you don't have to try that
No
hard.
points. We, in the first year of not performing well. Gary, what do you think?
I think North might just get there in the end.
Now, speaking of the Melbourne Football Club, ladies and gentlemen, massive night last night, a demolition times 2. And absolutely unbelievable result. I think, Gary, north of $700,000 raised to demolish debt. It is an unbelievable story. It is. It
started last year, Jim. This did raised over $2 million in one night. The footy club was going to go broke, and Jim Steins put this together, and this was the follow-up function last night. It was a wonderful night. Fantastic Melbourne people there. Jeff Farmer came back. Shane Woden was there. Mark Vincent, I think he won the Australian Idol. Yep. He sang at the end there, and it was a moving night. Jim is overseas, but this was his baby last year. Sent a really emotional message, and the good people of Melbourne raised $725,000 last night. So $3 million last year. Very much on the way back after Demons, and that was great news.
No, Gary, were you going to move away?
Well, he's trying to, but...
just stand by. Some very good entertainment there.
Yeah. David Copperfield coming up later, Bill, but we understand at this particular event there was some magician work that had to be seen to be believed, and we actually snuck a camera in. Let's see if we can roll it here. There he is. Look at Mr. Personality up there in the red jacket.
All right, the magician
What about the helper?
called me up, Jim, and I didn't know I thought I was doing a card trick, and he got me to do this, which is not that funny, but...
no, we think it's funny, Gary.
It's funny, Gary. I didn't enjoy it all that much.
Look at you go. Oh, opening your mouth there, and there we are, and the frames. Oh, you look so comfortable, Gary.
Small price to pay for what was a great night, and well done to everyone. Donnie McClarty, who's the Vice President of Melbourne, to put that together.
Yeah, well, don't worry. Craig Hutchison's joining us next on the Footy Show, but as we go to the break, we might just cop a little more of Gary the Magician.
Very
Thanks to Carlton Natural Blonde and Crazy Johns, our very good friends, of course. Speaking of which, they've just smashed the price of mobile broadband, Sam. This is $79 right here, lowest on the market. Crazy's modem, and to celebrate, they are giving Footy Show viewers a chance to win one of 10 mobile broadband modems. Simply log on to crazyjohns.com.au/win by midday tomorrow. Follow the prompts, go in the draw to win. Thanks again to our very good friends at Crazy John. Gary.
Well,
It's crazy. I just recognised some of the folks.
you finished saying hello to everyone?
This is the Crazy John table.
Anyone else you want to say hello before we go on?
No, go on.
OK, a lot of news, as we said off the top. It's been a big news week, and Craig Hutchison been very busy, as always. Please welcome the best newsman in the business, Hutchie.
Hey, Sam.
That'll do. He's there. He's there. Now, Nathan Lovett-Murray, story that was broken yesterday. Where does it all sit?
Yeah, there's been a development tonight, or a development of sorts. Nathan Lovett-Murray may face a second charge with police tonight, considering laying a charge of aiding and abetting trafficking. Now, the evidence has been sent to the Office of Public Prosecution for his consideration, for him to consider whether a second charge is warranted, Gary. His manager today, of course, said in the event of any second charge, he too would be defending that charge vigorously.
Certainly a shock, because I've known Nathan for quite some time, and I know that he's anti-drugs. He doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, and it is very, very strange.
What about the circumstances surrounding finding the ecstasy tablet in his house?
Well, I got a call from Nathan after the search, and he told me that a sniffer dog had been through the house and had failed to find anything, and a subsequent search by somebody from the force found the one pill. At this stage, we're not sure what it is because it hasn't been tested.
So you're saying there's still some doubt as to whether it could be ecstasy, and you're not sure how it got there?
Well, I mean, Nathan has no idea how it got there. None. Nathan doesn't like drugs, hates drugs, and has got no idea how it would even be in his house.
It's our understanding that he might yet face further charges. Police are at least considering it. Would he be fighting those as vigorously if that were the case?
Oh, certainly, yeah.
So Lovett Murray's defending his position on all fronts and is told of his distress. He was on the front foot this week, and he says, of course, that he will be defending his character and all charges.
Yeah, the last couple of days have been really tough, but I'll be contesting the charge at court and just like let people know that I don't take drugs. When I'm out on the track, playing football and I'm around my teammates, it's all forgotten about, I guess. When I'm out there, and I guess the hardest thing is when I'm not on the track. That's when I'm going to be thinking about it the most. But when I'm with my teammates, that's when I feel more comfortable. I work really hard in Indigenous community, and I know that I'm a role model, and a lot of young kids look up to me. I've got 2 young boys myself, and I guess what's happened in the last couple of days, I'm extremely disappointed. But I'll leave it to the courts to decide.
Well, it's an extraordinary story, whichever way you look at it. It's hugely respected among not only the Indigenous community, but also all around the northern suburbs for the work he does with people and the underprivileged. And this is an extraordinary situation to find yourself in. The other men charged in that will face the county court tomorrow, so some evidence will be tabled there. Interestingly, police had planned to arrest Lovett Murray last Friday, and the Special Operations Group were doing the arrests all over the state. He would have been part of that Special Operations Group arrest potentially, but he was playing footy in Perth, so it waited 3 days. He's bailed to appear in court on October the 12th, so let's hope that it all works out for him.
Is the sniffer dog still on the force?
Let's move on from that one. That's a tricky one to talk about legally.
50 times, nose is 50 times more sensitive than a human's. It might add a chill or something.
I just want to stress, Gary, that second charge is being considered by the Office of Public Prosecution.
When will we know, Archie, about that?
In the coming days, I think. It hasn't yet been late. A good positive story is around tonight, and that concerns Graham Polak. Now, the Richmond player who famously or infamously ran into the tram last year and had some serious injuries. It's been 14 long and lonely months for Graham Polak. He's back in the squad of 25 tonight for the Tigers, which is fantastic news. And whether he plays or not, and it's unlikely that he will this week, I think it deserves a round of applause for the road back for Graham Polak. That's fantastic. He's come a long way. Graham Polak has come such a long way. Just 4 to 6 weeks ago, he was playing Coburg Reserves. He's knocking on the door, and in a Footy Show exclusive this week, he told us he was very much looking forward to proving a point and returning to senior footy. Do you want to play senior footy again?
Absolutely. It's the number one thing. So I'm back out here pursuing this still at the moment. So, yeah, I know life's really important for me as well, but football is just as important, I think, at the moment. So to get back there where I belong, I feel, and I think I've still got a lot to offer. It would be my number one goal at the moment. Yeah.
Do you think you're ready and I'm knocking on the door to play senior footy this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think I am. Yeah, over the last, as I said, the last few weeks have been really good, and the skill level has been growing and growing, and I'm feeling like I'm on the way up. And to get a chance, which is not my call obviously at the moment, but to get the chance, well, I'd take it with both hands and relish it. So I'm looking forward to the challenges they give me. I never thought when I was getting out of hospital that this year, especially, I'll be playing AFL football. I knew I wanted to strive for that, but it was a goal of mine to get back this year. But for it to actually happen, it would be a dream come true. And I thank a lot of people for that and the great work they've put into me. At the start of the year, I sat down with the doctor at the Epworth, and I asked him, honestly, where do you think I'll be able to get back this year? And he said, honestly, mate, I don't think you could. But to be back straight away and be playing some good footy now, I've hopefully proven them wrong, the critics wrong, and everyone else wrong. So I'm feeling great at the moment, and look forward to that opportunity if it comes.
That is fantastic news, I reckon, for Graham Polak and his family and everyone else concerned. More of that interview on the Sunday Footy Show. Now, whether or not he stays on the Richmond list may have a bit to do with Matthew Richardson, who tonight has gone back into hospital.
He has. His season's over. He'll miss the rest of the year with minor knee surgery. Interestingly, he wants to play next year, but he's yet to 100% declare his hand. He says Richmond haven't either, despite indications that they had. He said he'll, whatever the next coach says, will go, obviously, and that will be appointed in a month. But today, he told the Footy Show, Sam, that he wants to play on next year, but we'll wait and see what the next coach has to say.
Yeah, just a minor little op on my right knee, on my medial ligament, but it's something that I've sort of had for a couple of years, and it's just a niggly type of an issue. So now that I'm not playing for the rest of the year, thought we'd get it out of the way. Yeah, speculation in the papers, probably a little bit off the mark. The club sort of said we'll see how the operation comes up, see how the body's feeling in a month's time. By then, you know, the big appointment will be made, and then everyone can sit down and make a smart decision. Look, if a new coach came in and we decided that going forward it wasn't the best option for me to keep playing, I'd support that decision. There's not going to be any, there's not going to be any big controversy. Either way, the best decision will be made for the club, and we'll go forward from there.
Best of luck to Richo on his road to recovery. Now, there's plenty more to get through on Richmond. The coaching situation has been narrowed down in the last few hours and will continue tomorrow, so it'll be cut in half. The applicants will be cut to around 6 or 7. As best as we can assess the landscape tonight, and they have been informing coaches, unsuccessful otherwise, throughout the course of the day. Certainly Brad Scott will be there when the whips are cracking. He's a real early front-runner of the external candidates. He's interviewed overwhelmingly impressively to date.
Who's at Collingwood? The Collingwood assistant coach? Yes,
the Collingwood assistant coach. Damien Hardwick's still in there. Alan Richardson, we believe, still there. And as best we know, Ken Hinkley, Peter Sumich of West Coast and Justin Leppich all still alive in the race. That's the core pool of which the next Richmond coach will come from at this stage. And Jade Rawlings, of course, who just went quickly through to stage 2 and has been very impressive.
So they go through to the second stage.
There's 3 stages. So we're about a month off, I reckon, from a Richmond coach, but they've cut it in half and there'll be some unlucky candidates missing out in the next 24 hours. One of those, Damien Hardwick, interestingly, was seen in Adelaide yesterday. He met with Port Adelaide. He is their preferred number 2 for Mark Williams. And despite being contracted to the Hawks, is just having an early chat to Port about their plans. And it wouldn't be any surprise to see a situation where he ended up back at Port Adelaide.
Surely he'd take a senior job if he was offered either the North Melbourne or Richmond job before he'd go and take an assistant's job at Port.
No doubt about that. And he'll be in James's last 4 or 5 too at the Kangaroos. So plenty of options for Damien Hardwick, including staying at Hawthorn where he's contracted as well.
What about a gambling investigation from the AFL?
Oh. Yeah, this is interesting. Now, Daniel Merritt at the Brisbane...
He's how much is he?
Give us a spell,
He's busy tonight.
Just go and play with your mice at the back for a couple of minutes. Daniel Merritt of the Brisbane Lions kicked the first goal last week. Now, he was $126 on Tabcorp to kick the first goal. He was backed into $15. One punter had $300 at $126. They backed him at many agencies around the country. That's the first goal that he delivered on at 15-1.
And he's a full-back. He's played full-back for the vast majority of his career. That's where the anomaly is.
First goal for over 2 years now. The AFL have launched an investigation of this. They have an integrity officer who has made contact with Tabcorp and other betting firms to try and get the balance sheets of what happened in the first goal and to see who was behind it, if anyone. Now, it's unlikely there was anyone involved directly with footy, of course, and we're not suggesting that it was, but there was certainly the intelligence
What are we suggesting?
Well, the intelligence came from the football world, didn't it? I mean, someone knew he was playing forward, friend, foe or taxi driver or otherwise, and the AFL having a look at it. They do have the rules in place now where they can take that.
They can take the betting records of all those agencies and, go through them to see if there's any AFL people involved?
Yeah, correct. And they've taken the betting sheets tonight, we understand, from Tabcorp. So the AFL refusing to comment on that, but that's the landscape there. So watch this space on that. Bear in mind, of course, too, that there was a plunge on Hawthorn this week against St Kilda. Hawthorn into $1.85 tonight, and 5 big names for the Saints have been ruled out as at 5 o'clock tonight. Goddard, Hayes, Revolt, Baker and Montagna. So there's plenty of intelligence around footy at the moment.
And one of those players, big outs, as you say, which you would imagine Matt Maguire, who's been on the periphery, hasn't been able to break back into that side, would have been one of the inclusions?
Yeah, it's a sad story, this one. He was ready to play, Matt Maguire, would have been in the team tonight, but his hamstring didn't come up today at training. He tried to get through training and couldn't get through, so he's been ruled out of all footy this weekend as well. So he won't play in the senior side and still waits that chance. You'd think now he faces a real battle to force his way into this St Kilda finals campaign.
That is
and watch this space on Goddard too. It's been listed as a knee, and the Saints are saying he'll be back in a week, but I just reckon there's a little bit more to that than meets the eye yet, so we'll see.
There's a full book there, Samuel.
One of the very big outs, Gary. Don't worry about it, that will be the sniffer dog. It will be gone. I tell you, I can't figure that out because a friend of mine had a sultana, just a sultana in their pocket, and a beagle sprang out of the luggage carousel at the airport and ripped a scrotum out. That's what dog. They are sensitive, and how it missed that tablet's got me stuffed.
Well, the dog might be in trouble, but...
The dog's out, gone.
That was magnificent work. Please thank him, Craig Hutchison, with all of the footy news. Let's have a look at the next game. It is Essendon up against the Brisbane Lions Saturday night at the MCG. The Bombers went down to West Coast by 26 points. Last week lost 6 of their last 9 matches. Out of the side, Skipworth and Hooker have been omitted. Lovett, Lucas and our man here, Andrew Welch, all been out with injury. In Mark McVeigh, Elwyn Davey, Basher Hooley, also Jared Atkinson and Michael Quinn. They take on the Brisbane Lions, who went down to Collingwood by 40 points last Saturday night at the MCG. Jonathan Brown, what a year he is having. A lone hand up forward, kicking 5 goals. And out of the Brisbane side, Brad Dalziel, Tommy Rockcliffe and Jason Rowe. Bradshaw back after missing with
Jimmy.
Yes. Yeah, Jimmy Bradshaw. Harding and Tim Notting returns from suspension. Welshie, massive game. The Bombers desperately need this victory. They would have had the West Coast game pencilled in last week. They now find themselves outside the top 8.
Yeah, obviously, as I said earlier, last week was very disappointing to go over to West Coast and perform like that. And Brisbane are a really good outfit this year, and it's going to be a tough game. We're going to have to come. We've got some extra run coming into the team with young Quinn and Basher Hooley. So the boys will be out to rectify last couple of weeks' performances and hopefully
Dustin Fletcher play on Jonathan Brown. Now, Brown is the standout forward. You can keep him under 3, then you probably win. He hasn't been going to the big forwards, Dustin, has he? Would he go there on the weekend?
Yeah, look, I'm not sure either himself or Tate Pears, he's taken a lot of the big forwards this year, and it's great for Tate's development as well to come up week after week against these bigger guys, and Fletcher's there to help out and do what he does great and drop in front of those guys and help Tate. But I think Tate would or Dustin would definitely match up on him.
Bill? Who's winning, Will?
I think Brisbane will win this one. Essendon just seem to run out of gas. Welshie, I'm sorry to say.
Coxie?
Big Cox.
Yeah, Brisbane for me. Brown, Bradshaw up forward too strong.
Samuel?
What's your injury, Andy?
I've had a bit of a sore quad for the last couple of weeks and haven't been able to get rid of it, so the week off will hopefully
How'd you do it,
get
mate?
it back on track.
What football did you do?
Yeah, it was with football, Sam. Kicking goals from the boundary.
What do you got there, Welshie, in front of you?
So yesterday, the Dick Reynolds Club had a luncheon to celebrate one of the great football families, and they've brought out this fantastic book, which is a great read, and it's...
How would you know if it's a great read? It came out yesterday.
Well,
Who's in there reading
it's only a little read here on the back. So I've got that covered. So it's a great read. You can get it from the Footy Club or essendonfc.com.au.
Well done, Gary.
I'm going for Brisbane, Jim.
How would you track that leak down? There'd be 40 or 50 people in a footy club who'd know he was going to start forward.
Yeah, I know. What they do, as Hutchie said, is they look at the betting in case it came from someone within the footy club. You can't do it, Jim.
Don't worry. I know you can't, but there's so many people know that how the hell would you trace it? Now, Bill, you went to Brisbane today.
Yep.
To catch up with the world famous. What do you
the greatest illusionist to walk on this planet.
David Copperfield.
David Copperfield.
How was he?
Me and him just bonded like that. He wants me as his next assistant to saw in half, Sam.
All right. Let's have a look.
Need a big saw.
Let's have a look how Bill went with the famous David Copperfield.
Welcome back to Australia and welcome to the Footy Show.
Thank you. It's good to be back. I was here actually 10 years ago on your show. You weren't here.
No, I was, and I disappeared.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, tell us, what can we expect from your show this time round?
Well, you know, this show is about big, spectacular things and intimate things as well. We do magic where I make cars appear, make motorcycles appear, dreams take place. We do dangerous things. We also do very intimate things that are kind of interesting.
How do you come up with your different illusions? Is there a team Copperfield?
There is, actually. We have a group of people, but a lot of these ideas, it takes about 2 years to develop. Each illusion takes 2 years to create, and it's pretty cool.
Your show is very spectacular and also very, very dangerous. How do you go filling out the OC health and safety forms?
It's not easy. Let me tell you, I do it with invisible ink.
Exactly. There you go.
Or a magic marker, I'm not sure yet.
Any tricks from that today?
Well, I'd like to teach you something we do in hospitals, actually, because you look like you could use a little therapy yourself. It's with a piece of rope like this, and we're going to tie a knot with a rope without letting go of the ends. Okay, I'll show you what I mean.
Right.
Tie a knot, which is impossible to tie a knot in a rope without letting go of the ends, but follow along. You're going to take the rope and you're going to around the arm,
Yep.
Other way, other way.
Oh, I'm going.
And down, good.
Yes,
good.
yeah.
To make 2 loops, you're going to go in this loop.
Yep.
Good job.
Yep.
Out this loop.
Out that loop.
Very good. Watch me first.
Yes.
And you throw it off, and you have a knot there, just like that. You throw it up.
Oh, shit. I mean,
That was a footy bleep there.
We'll just bloop that out. And there's my knot.
You're a genius.
See that? Hey,
A new world record.
Was that the trick?
That is the trick.
Oh, it was
It's
mine?
not supposed to work like that. That was very good.
Oh, you...
You're going to have to teach me that stuff. This guy's really good. I don't know.
What about the old thumb one? Is that how you do it?
That's very good. And you know your technique is beautiful.
Do you like that?
It is very, very good. There's no thumb there, and there's a full thumb there. How the hell do you do it?
That is terrible, really, isn't it? You're the greatest illusionist ever to walk on the planet.
After that, I don't know. You're
No.
pretty damn good.
You are. Now, Dave, I want your biggest and I want your best illusion ever.
I don't know what that is, but you want something bigger?
No, I want something bigger than the rope trick. I want your
see.
biggest and your best.
Well,
what can you do for
I
us?
can do something on stage. Would you like to see that?
Oh, would we? What?
I've got a big illusion. It's called the Salute to Shane Crawford.
Oh, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Exclusive for the footy show here, Mr. David Copperfield and the Squeeze Box. Yay! Look at that. You want some cheering, wouldn't you? Ah, what about that? How good was that? The amazing David Copperfield. Yes. Yeah, brother. Yeah.
Beautiful work, William, up there. I can see you bonded now. The tour dates for David Copperfield, if you want to get along with you. I think, Sam, have you seen one of these shows? August the 6th. Hang on, I'll get these out. Brisbane Entertainment Centre. That's tonight, yep. Sydney up there. He's coming to Newcastle, to Adelaide, and he'll be down here in Melbourne on August the 15th and the 16th. Go to ticketek.com.au.
I would have liked to have seen him put a screen round Bill's gut and make his stomach disappear. That would have been one of the great illusionists' tricks, Gary.
It would be worth going to see. We're going to get going to Shane Warne on the other side of the break. He's in Headingley live, the third test.
Speaking of magicians,
Shane Warne is going to join us live after this. Welcome back to the Footy Show. Very much caught up with footy fever. We are at the moment heading into the finals, but we've also got one eye on the cricket over there in England. We're 1-0 down. I reckon there are hundreds of thousands of Australians that have wished this man was in the whites and not up in the commentary box. He's been good enough to join us live from Headingley. Please welcome the one and only Shane Warne. Wonderful to see you, mate. Sky's looking a little overcast there. We had a lot of rain in the third test, but How are they travelling, mate? You're in the commentary box, you're writing articles over there, you're stirring the Poms up, but we're looking down the barrel.
Yeah, g'day Gary, g'day guys. It's look, it's been fever pitch over here. All these English guys are getting way too far ahead of themselves and they think they're going to win the whole Ashes again. Australia will come back and fight in this test match, that's for sure. I think there were some good signs in Birmingham. I think everyone rocked up on the last day thinking that England were just going to win. They only took 3 wickets and Australia got around 250 ahead and plus more. So I think the signs are pretty good for Australia. The only real selection issue, I suppose, at the moment is if Brett Lee's going to come back in the side. There's been a lot of talk about him, whether they're going to risk him after not playing for about 6 weeks. So I think all the rest is okay, but this is going to be a hell of a test match here at Headingley. The crowd's going to go berserk, and it should be a good one. I think Australia will win this one.
Shane, it appears to us back here that you need to go and buy a bazooka and squeeze it round into Freddie Flintoff, and after you finish with him, get Rudy Kurtzen done.
Yeah, Rudy's having an absolute shocker, but he's gone, so that's good. Freddie, I'm sure we can spike his food or do something about that. He's been doing really well, but he's in a bit of trouble. He didn't take a wicket in the last test match, and he's had a few issues with his knee. So hopefully he doesn't take a wicket in this test match either. But if that doesn't work and everything else fails, we'll take him out drinking and make sure that we spike his drinks as well.
Warnie, Billy here, mate. What's going on with the crowds over there? The drunks are actually getting into Ricky, are they?
They are a bit. They're sounding a bit like you, Bill, over here, not making one bit of sense whatsoever. But they're drinking here, they're having fun, they're getting dressed up, and they're going berserk. And they are booing Ricky, but I think it's inspiring to make I reckon he's just ready for a big one. So I think this is the one for him. Australia need him to make a big score. If they win this test match, they level the series, and there's one to play, which means England have to win. And England going into a test match knowing they have to win, absolutely no chance. So Australia for me in this test match, that's for sure.
Warnie, one of the problems we're having is taking 20 wickets. You don't win too many 5-day games without being able to achieve that. Are we going to make any moves in the bowling area? I've got a couple of suggestions, but I want your thoughts first.
Yeah, look, I think that is an area of concern. It's amazing over here. When the sun shines, the wickets are so flat that both sides have actually struggled to get wickets. As soon as it becomes cloudy and overcast and the ball starts to swing, England will look dangerous, and so have our bowlers. So here at Headingley at the moment, the sun's shining. It's the first day the sun's shone for about a month. But I reckon here at Headingley, more than any place in England, if it is overcast, the ball does hoop around. So it will help the bowlers this test match. The wicket looks really flat, though. But I don't know, maybe we need to put an injection of Brett Lee in there, whether they're going to risk him after 6 weeks of no cricket or they're going to bring in Stuart Clark for some control. I'm not sure. It'd be interesting to see who they leave out. Mitchell Johnson found a bit of form. Peter Siddle's bowling a bit inconsistent, but not too bad. Hilfenhaus has been great, and I thought Nathan Horrocks has been impressive, the spinner too. So maybe Brett Lee or Stuart Clark for this game.
Well, mate, I've got a couple of suggestions. If you are short in the touring party, we might send one of these two over there. Let's just have a look at one of our suggestions. There's Gary Lyon in a country match, and just want to look at this, Bill. It's bounced twice when being dispatched into the car park.
It's very wet.
Yeah. So just a replay of Gary, some of his finest work.
Slip, Coxie. What a pathetic game.
There we go. So,
I
don't know whether you got a monitor over there, Warnie, but you might have just seen Gary. Let's have a look at the other option we've got if Gary's not available. We've got the old fossil here with the leggy.
Warnie, not great either of us, mate, I can tell you. We won't be getting a game over there. But before we get into some of the other things we want to chat about, Phillip Hughes, who was the batting sensation heading over there, was a star in South Africa, struggled in the tour games early and then was dispatched after 2 test matches. Did you agree with the decision?
Well, first of all, Gary, I think you and Sam, I think the way you bowled then, you two guys, I'm sure that's good enough for these weak pommies, that's for sure. But having said that, look, it's amazing over here, the whole atmosphere of everything over here. The Phillip Hughes thing is an amazing thing. I was surprised and shocked, really, that he was dropped after 2 test matches. But I understand the situation that they wanted to inject the 5th bowler in Shane Watson. So Phillip Hughes was the unlucky guy to miss out. Mike Hussey would have been under a bit of the pump as well, but I'd be interested. Does he come back into play now? Does he not come back? Shane Watson got 60 and 60 in both innings. So maybe we've found a new opener. I'm not sure where that leaves Phillip Hughes at this stage. So Simon Kadich needs to get some runs as well. But look, it's nice to have a young 20-year-old kid like that that's done so well at international level, had a taste for it. He's missed out now, so he's going to remain hungry and see how important it is to him. But I'm sure we'll see a lot more of Phillip Hughes.
Now, Warnie, whilst you're doing some wonderful work over there, you've been doing some amazing work here in Australia with the Shane Warne Foundation, raised over $3 million in the past number of years for seriously ill and underprivileged children, and we're going to give this a good rap tonight. We've got a couple of items that you can bid for. You can go to the Shane Warne Foundation website. We'll give you those details in a minute. But this is the first one that is up for auction. All proceeds going to the Shane Warne Foundation. Jeez. It is an original Jamie Cooper painting, 2.2 by 1.6 metres. It's oil on canvas, elegantly framed. That is a magnificent piece of work by Jamie Cooper, who's very well known throughout the footy world. He's done all the teams of the century paintings. So that is now up for auction. Tell me that wouldn't look great in a boardroom somewhere around Australia there, Foss man. That is unbelievable. There's the website, auction.tswf.com.au, and I said some marvellous work being done by Shane.
That is fantastic, and we normally like to get this started, Foss, on the old footy show, so you're the man holding the folding. What would you like to get us underway with?
That is an original. That is a one-off piece, Fosser.
800.
Is it signed?
800?
You'd be kidding.
Oh, well, I was 8,000.
8,000.
Well, I'll go 10.
Hey, we get advance at 10. I'm 11. 11,
Jim. Yes, Bill, you got something?
Now, Bill. Mate, I haven't got a wall big enough to put that on.
Don't open your fat... This is serious. You can't nominate a price and then say you didn't mean it. Are you going to actually have a crack at it?
Is he still on the link?
Yes, he's on the link.
Well, what did you go? I'll go 12.
12.
Andy, anything at all, mate?
No, it's a great painting. Out of my league.
Dean? Be careful, mate.
The West Coast Eagles will cover you,
Coxie. Come on, Coxie.
I'll go 15.
15.
Just to get silly Dean off the hook, I'll go 16.
16.
All right, well, it's at 16,000. It's going to go way, way over
And well, that is fantastic.
magnificent. Get another shot of it out there. That is a magnificent
Can I ask Shane a question?
You can. I just also want to say, while you're on the website, a once-in-a-lifetime experience to be bowled to by the King of Spin, Shane Warne. Economy airfares, accommodation and VIP tickets to All Stars 2020 match on Sunday, November the 22nd at the Gabba Gym, of which Shane Warne is going to play in, if you don't mind. It'll be on Channel 9. It'll be a marvellous cricketing occasion. You get the chance to go up there and have Warnie bowl a few overs. So I bid for that as well. All charities going, all money going to
Glenn
charity.
McGrath is playing in that, I think, and Matthew Hayden, the Australian Cricketers Association, do a fantastic job. Yes.
Tax-deductible charity.
Yes, absolutely.
I got a proposition for you, Shane. If we could get Australia to donate $1 million to your charity for underprivileged children, would that entice you to make yourself available for the next test?
Yes.
If we raised $1 million from Australians, tax deductible to your great charity, would that make you play next week or tomorrow, or whenever it is?
Next week.
First of all, Sam, just quickly, the Shane Warne Foundation, we've raised, as Gary said, over $3 million for. We've actually distributed money now to 75 different children's charities.
Yes.
We gave away $800,000 last year, and that ranges from music therapy to clowns that visit these brave children in hospitals. There's horse riding, there's machines, there's special pumps for the children. So there's so much things that we're doing at the Shane Warne Foundation that helps these children. So to make such a contribution, for Jamie Cooper to do that painting, which I think is absolutely outstanding. Thank you very much to the guys there on the show for those bids. Hopefully it will go for a lot of money. Also, the auction item to face a few balls for me at the break in that All-Stars game. Could be a bit of fun to whack me for 6 over the fence. Sammy, read the $1 million. Look, the boys will be fine in the Ashes series. If all else fails and we start to lose, and then I'll weigh it up. How's that sound, Sam?
That sounds very, very good. I'll tell you what.
You get $1 million in an hour, Gary.
I'll tell you what,
Australia.
there'd be
Tax
some-
deductible for the Shane Warne charity.
There'd be some English
which you're a director of.
Frank Thring's
Found
tightening a touch
Foundation,
as well.
yes,
Now,
sir. Yes.
Warnie, stay with us because I know you're a very, very passionate Saint. Your Mob have won 18 straight. We're going to take a look at your team right now as they take on the Hawks at Aurora. Hawthorn have lost 5 of their last 7 games. These two have never played in Launceston, despite both being tenant clubs down there at one stage. Campbell, Osborne and Tuck come in for the Hawks. Guerra and Ellis are injured. Cameron Stokes has been omitted as we swing over to Warnie's Saints. 18 in a row they've won. Last played in Tassie back in 2006. Lenny Hayes loves playing. Oh, we're going to move straight on. Gardner, Dawson, Ball, Stephen and Geary have all been included, but here is the big story surrounding this game. As you heard from Hutchie, Revolt, Montagna, Goddard, Baker and Hayes all come out of the side with a variety of injuries. Congratulations to Buddy Franklin, who plays game number 100 on the weekend. Now,
we're going to have to leave the boys' tips till last, Jim, because the link's going to run out.
Righto.
We're going to get back to Warnie. Warnie, the Saints, big outs. You're going to be back in time should they make it to September, and in particular the last Saturday in September.
Yeah, look, the boys have been on fire, 18 in a row. You know, it's pretty dangerous to flirt with form, so 5 guys out, but they need the rest. They've done a great job, and I'm sure they'll be up. But Hawthorn at Aurora, tough game for them. The Saints are on fire. They're going to go the whole year undefeated and win the flag. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Go the Saints.
Beautifully done, Warnie. Just hold there. He'll be back in town for the finals, and he'll also be back for this All-Star 2020 game. It is at the Gabba. Sunday, November the 22nd, features Shane Warne, Glenn McGrath and Matthew Hayden making a comeback. It's going to launch the 2009-10 international cricket season. The Pakistanis and the West Indians are coming over, and all the money raised there is going to go to the Shane Warne Foundation and the McGrath Foundation and Movember Foundation. So all for wonderful, wonderful causes.
all right, Shane, I know the link's about to drop out. Thank you very much for joining us. 700 test wickets, ladies and gentlemen, right there down the tube. Good luck, Warnie.
Thanks very much, guys. Thanks very much, guys. Thank you.
Superstar of world sport. We're going to take a break. Street Talk at St Albans coming up next.
Five. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to jail. What again? Michael Voss says every time he plays anything, he plays to win, including Monopoly. I wonder if the folk in St Albans are winners. Do they play to win everything they do? Let's ask them. Do you think it's important to win at everything in life, sir?
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Your Grace. Do you know who I'm meant to be?
Sorry? You?
Yeah.
You should be in hell, I think.
Hey?
Colonel Sanders.
I'm meant to
Monopoly
be the...
man.
That's
Oh, the
well
Monopoly
done,
man.
darling. You're not trying to be the Monopoly man, are you?
Sam, you
Hey, you're not taking the piss out of me, are you?
No way, no.
Is it important to win at everything you do, sir?
Nah, not everything, mate. As long as you enjoy what you're doing, mate, doesn't matter.
Long as you give it your best shot.
That's it.
When did you give it your best shot and lost?
Oh, probably when I got married.
Have you ever played Monopoly, Martha?
Yeah, with my son. And
Yeah.
he's like at the power station.
Did he?
Yes.
Is that important to have that? Because then you can...
Yeah, but I was only young.
But just riding home, Dale?
No.
No? And was the power station a winner for you? Did you end up winning?
No, he just said, you get at the power station, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, no, what's that?
How come you always make fun of Gary Lyons on the show? Remember that photo you had of him with hairy chest? Big photo.
Oh, Dale, it's only in... We were only being... What?
Is that a true story?
Is he, what
Are
is
you
he?
telling the truth?
Yes, I am, Dale.
Yeah.
It's only jocular.
Yeah.
You know what jocular means?
A piece of jock?
Piece of jock?
Yeah. That's what it means, a piece of jock.
Brent Harvey said...
Brent Harvey?
He said that you question someone's manhood if they play to lose. What is a man, Dale?
Yeah.
He's got a big...
What's that, sir?
He's got a big banana. That's the man, Sammy.
You have to have a big banana.
You've got to have a big banana, mate.
You got a big banana.
I got a big banana, Sammy.
Right, all right.
You got a big banana?
Brent Harvey said you'd question someone's manhood if they played to lose. What is a man, sir?
You'd look at three of them right here.
Me. That's it. How do you define?
Three mans. Big mans.
Three mans.
Mans.
Three men, sir.
Mans there.
No, men. The plural of man is men.
Men's.
No, men's is what you have a piss in. What is a real man? Tell me what you're...
Man,
Yeah.
a hunky beefcake.
A hunky beefcake. Yeah, well,
Is that a big...
I think you're through to the semis there, then.
Yes.
Yeah. You got Mona Lisa on your bag. She'll help
Yes,
you through.
I love MonaIsa.
Do you?
That's
Yeah.
the most popular portrait in the world. And you know, you're a scholar. You know how Mona Lisa come to France?
What's that, though?
You know how Mona Lisa ended up in the Louvre?
Oh, what, in
France?
the tunnel, in the train?
No!
Well, what?
In the Louvre, the museum.
What's the son ever said to us?
Well, what's it?
I'll touch you in again. It's an old physics joke.
He's trying to talk me English.
No,
This is
I'm not trying to talk you English.
St Albans language is...
No, sir. Three men you are.
So it's not even three mans.
Hey, listen. Sam Newman, he makes me laugh. I love the Footy show every Thursday nights. He makes me laugh, but Collingwood, I've been a Collingwood fan for 29 years. Shut that shit.
The last thing we've got to do, though, is get off the planet.
Is it going to stop? When does it stop? And we just all climb off?
No, it won't stop. We'll probably head towards the sun and we'll deteriorate.
Jesus. When do you think that'll be, sir? In our lifetime?
No, it could be sooner or later. Who knows? Depending on the orbit.
Do you go to the football at all?
No, I
Marta?
don't like the football. When I went to football with my ex-husband, he pulled up a maroon dress. And
What's that, Marta?
I had a maroon knitted dress. He pulled up my dress and I see-through undies.
Yeah. What did he do that for, Marta? Just
Because he's rude.
So what do you think of this?
What do I think of that whole shooting match there, doll?
Take it off.
Bloody beautiful. No, it's a panoramic. It's a vista.
Thank you.
All the best. Let's put our hats on together in unison. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. There we are. Let's finish it off nicely. Bye. Bye.
Lovely to see the good people of St Albans. We're going to get on to the next game. Fremantle taking on Port Adelaide. William?
They are indeed. Fremantle are 15th on the ladder. 4 wins. They've lost 10 of their last 11 matches. Greg Broughton's been a good find for them there. They've made some changes. Brett Peake, good to see him back. Zach Clark. Marcus Drum, good to see a Drummy back there. And Shammer's back. Hayden Valentine. What was that on World of Sport, Sam? Port Adelaide are 8. 9-9. Very good win last week. Defeated Hawthorn. Robbie Gray's been very good for the Port Adelaide side. They've brought in Broadbent, Peter Burgoyne. So both Burgoyne boys are in there, which is great. Good to see Sean back last week. And Ebert, the head, he's back in town. You've got to go with Port Adelaide in this one. I think they'll win, even though their interstate record is not great. Andrew?
Yeah, Freo just continuing to play the younger guys and give them experience to build the club and get them back where they want to be. But even at Subi, I think Port will get over the line.
Coxie?
Yeah, Pavlich been in fantastic form up forward and then goes in the midfield and absolutely destroyed us, but Port Adelaide too experienced.
What's that?
Yeah, I don't know about Port Adelaide. Yeah, maybe. I saw them beat you, Dean. I know you weren't. Were you playing? No, that's right.
Right, so you're thinking of for Port Adelaide, do you?
You're bloody awful. The West, that day there, that was the derby.
We might talk about that after the show. I'm going for Port Adelaide as well. Next game, Adelaide taking on Collingwood. This is a very, very big game. Crows are going very nicely. Nearly upset Geelong down there at Skilled Stadium. Lost 2 of their 3, though, against Geelong and St Kilda. Scott Thompson due to play game number 150. Paddy Dangerfield's out with Brad Symes. They take on the Collingwood Footy Club, who are going beautifully at the minute. 4th on the ladder. 12 wins, 6 losses. Rolled Brisbane by 40 points. Absolutely belted them after half-time. Jackson Barham's been dropped along with Steele Sidebottom. Chris Dawes back in and Brad Dick is in. Coxie.
That he is.
Oh, Gary.
But,
you're a child.
What?
You're a naughty little boy.
It's a massive game, Coxie. This is... Bill. This is fourth place on the line, and Collingwood are a very good interstate club.
That they are. It's just reading that before. They've won the last 4 matches at Amy Stadium by an average of 22 points. I think they're going to make it 5 in a row.
Yeah, well, after this weekend, the Crows have played 3 of the top 4 sides in the last month, so that's a great preparation for them going to finals. Although Collingwood have got a good record at Amy, I think the Crows will win this one.
Well, good side, the Crows. Those midfielders that run and use the ball very well. They got Tippett up there now, and also Burton.
Who's winning, Will?
Adelaide.
Right. Samuel?
No, not tipping against Collingwood until they give us a reason not to tip them.
I'm going with the Crows in a bit of an upset.
All right.
Good on you, Gaz.
Good on you, Gaz.
Well done.
A little bit quiet.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we go to the break, we need to recognise the very sad passing of a good friend of ours the electronic media. Mike McLean, a colleague of Sam's and mine and Gary's at Triple M, lost his battle with cancer yesterday. He was a quality man, a fine broadcaster, and like so many in recent times, taken from us way too early. So to his wife Angela, his family and friends, our deepest sympathy.
Yeah, here.
Troubles in your old kit bag. It's almost football legends. Tally-ho, William.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. Almost Footy Legends time. We're going to get straight into it. And Big Coxie, take it away.
Yeah, we got Riley Dickinson takes a good grab from Enhill versus Ararat.
It's nil, you idiot, versus our Enhill. Let's have a nil. Oh, you idiot. Have a look at this one here. We've got a wedgie fight here. Have a look at this bloke here. A bit of a scuffle. This bloke comes in, gives him a wedgie. He's not happy with it. So what happens here when the umpire goes to bounce the ball again? Wait for it. A wedgie!
And the third one, and Salisbury versus Hope Valley. Off 2 steps, launches himself into the pack and takes a screamer.
Who was it?
Salisbury player.
Which one did you like?
I'm going to go number 2.
Righto, what about the crowd? Who liked number 1? No one. Number 2, the wedgie. Oh, number 3, the hanger. No, it is number 2. Congratulations, Brad Bell. You had won this.
Thanks to Crazy John's, your mobile experts, our weekly winner takes home a brand new phone from the huge range of phones at Crazy John's. While our 2 runners-up get $500 cash courtesy of our good friends at Crazy John's. And the major prize winner at the end of the year takes home the multi-award-winning Nissan Navara STX Dual Cab 4x4 with a powerful 126 kilowatt turbo diesel engine, a massive 3,000 kilograms brake towing capacity, and unique utility-track load restraint system. Valued at more than $47,000. Nissan Navara is tough at work, hard at play.
Oh, fantastic. Nissan Navara there, valued at $47,000. All you have to do is send your entries into Almost Footy Legends, PO Box 800, Richmond, Victoria, 3121. And Jim, back to you. What about that? Enhill.
Yes.
Calls nil, Enhill.
We loved it, Coxie. I thought you did a great job. Let's take a look at the next game. It is Richmond up against Sydney at the MCG on Sunday. Jordan McMahon, as we take a look at the Tigers, became just the 4th player from that club to win a match after the siren.
Easy.
Unbelievable. Richmond defeated Sydney back in round 14, 2005, the last time. Tuck, Rance, Graham and Polak come in. Polak, of course, for the first time since round 14 last season. Not sure he's going to play. Trent Cotchin is out for the rest of the year with a hip injury. As we go to the Swans, who've now lost 7 of their last 9 games. They've also lost their last 5 at the MCG. Bevan, O'Dwyer, Thornton and Bez Premi are all in. Craig Bird will miss the rest of the year with a shoulder injury. Now, quickly. 2 people we need to recognise, Fossman. One is Michael O'Loughlin, who will play game number 300. Just hold your applause. We'll go to the applause. An absolute superstar, best and fairest winner, 2-time All-Australian Premiership player, leading goal kicker, and Ben Cousins will play 250 games this week. Absolutely. He has won 4 best and fairest, 6 All-Australians, a Brownlow medal and a Premiership player. Congratulations to those 2 superstars. Bill.
Well done to Mickey O and Ben. Fantastic achievements there. Easy to kick a goal after the siren, by the way. Have we got that replay?
No, we're not.
No.
Never again.
I think Richmond.
Welshie.
Yeah, I think the Swans will be too strong.
Ben Cousins, your old mate Coxie, he has found some form in the past 6 weeks or so. He's been unbelievable.
Yeah, he has. He's obviously his record speaks for itself. But since moving to Richmond, I think he's done what every player at our club knew he would do, and come over and put his body in the right position and play some great football. So, congratulations to him on his 250th, and I think Richmond will get over the line.
Poss.
Yeah, put his body in the right position. That's very important.
That's what you do as a midfielder.
Yeah.
Have to be a good player to be a 6-time All-Australian, Gary, like you were.
No, I wasn't.
And to play 300 games, you have to be Michael O'Loughlin.
Yeah.
Extraordinary effort.
Who are you tipping?
I'm tipping Richmond. You didn't. I'll tell you what we didn't mention. We just should mention. Did we mention the St Kilda Hawthorn game being played for a very important cup? You should mention that.
That's right. William had it here. We had to get away to the
No,
league,
we did, but
so
you
we'll
should
sort
mention
that,
that because we
Bill?
should.
Now, the Blue Ribbon Cup, of course, in honour of the 2 Victorian police officers, Sergeant Gary Silk and Senior Constable Rodney Miller, who were killed in the line of duty, of course, and the Tasmanian Police will look after that down in Launceston on the weekend.
Indeed, well done. And you're tipping Sydney or Richmond, Fosso?
Oh, I'm tipping Richmond.
I too, and two of the best players in the modern era, Mickey O'Loughlin and Ben Cousins. So get along and have a look at this game. And then if you're a Richmond supporter or a footy supporter, you might want to get along to this. The Joel Bowden testimonial. Been a marvellous player, Joel, over a long period of time. Not sure if it's going to be his last year or not, but on Saturday, August the 15th, the Olympic Dining Room MCG, $180 a ticket. Ring the Richmond Events Department there, 9426 4403. A break here, and we'll be back to wrap up the footy show. Nearly there. Don't forget the Shane Warne Foundation and bid on that magnificent Jamie Cooper painting. Now, before we go, hey, Shane will sign it.
What about Dean? Didn't the sphincters tighten up when he went 15?
He's right, he's good. You're the bidding 20 grand at the moment. Right, Bill's got a trick that David Copperfield showed him. He's been annoying us all night. We said we'll let you go at nearly 11:30. So show him the coins.
2 20-cent coins, OK. Here they are.
Watch his hands.
Yeah, they're in the hands there. There we go. We've got a camera up here. You ready?
That was for the mice up there.
Hurry up.
Hey, oh, jeez. Right. Score!
Oh!
What about that?
On that note, Jim's over there. Thank you, Jim. Welshie and Coxie. Appreciate your support.